Welcome back for another most special update, baby dolls. If we're looking at the total crypto industry as a whole, it is sitting at around 3.2 trillion. And my target is that it goes to 10 trillion. I don't know if it's going to get to 10 trillion. Nobody knows where these things are going to go. It would be a nice fitting ending, friends, because we have 4 key things which might be able to pump us all the way up there. And if you check them out right now, you have, of course, meme coin super cycle. We have that going on here, friends. All of us know the memes. We have stablecoin super cycle as well. We have Bitcoin treasury bubble. And then we have the crypto IPO bubble, which have not formed out here. So these 4 key narratives out here, hopefully they are able to crack us up above. By the way, if you're curious about, what about the real world assets? People ask me as well. Real world assets is actually covered in stablecoin supercycle out here, because real world assets, when the big money in real world in real world assets is, it's not tokenization real estate, because if you mint $1 trillion mansion on blockchain, you can't swap it for anything, right? It's there. The real money is the stable coins. It's the US dollar bank account stuff. It's the treasuries. That's what you have as well, friends, the treasuries, because pretty much, I guess you could get yield and rotate the yield, which is spending the US government inflation. So these are the 4 key things which might be cranking out, which I believe is enough to get us to that $10 trillion zone. Remember, stablecoins, friends, are expected to grow to 2 trillion in size in the next 4 years. And that's from the US government Treasury Committee. Remember, I reported to you, the stablecoin market cap has already just hit 250 billion in size by itself. 250 billion. So unfortunately, most people in crypto are cucks. They are, even though we are a red pill life in cryptocurrency land, there's a lot of cucks out there. They're holding Tether, USDT, they're earning no yield. It is what it is, okay? But they have to be shown that there's a better path. I wonder if there are better paths coming out here. Remember, the US government, friends, Tether is freezing money left and right. Every other day we hear about Tether freezing money, this person here, this person there. All right, mark my words, there will be one scenario we're going to hear where Tether or USDC, one of these cucks, they will freeze someone's money, and that person will post on Twitter and they'll say, hey, I have been accused of a crime, but I'm innocent, and Tether have just blocked my money and I can't do anything about it. And and I have my lawyers and I'm innocent and I'm working on it legally with the case. They just, under the instruction of the government, they just basically pause it. We will see that. We will see that, okay? Because that's what happens with all this government stuff out here, friends. When you are a blue pill cuck, you've got a fat purple and blue hair public school teacher telling your son to identify as a lamp and telling your daughter to identify as a doorknob and saying it's okay? And they believe that, pedophiles can go and teach school kids themselves because they can come back into society. When they believe these things, they're so far gone, friends. They are literally, they are perfect tools for the government. All right? That's the thing that's going on here. We understand that this is, if you want to live in this world, it's okay to hang around these people. The thing, is in markets, there's winners and there's losers. And there's a scoreboard, okay? There's a certain number of scarce currency units that can float and rotate around the ecosystems, okay? So if you are subscribing to this world, you're a blue pill cuck, you're not going to make it, okay? Go and buy the government bonds. Go get your shitty little 3 to 4%. They're debasing you at 8. The Kippy says you're inflating at 3% per year. That's a lie. They're debasing you at 8. Go and live that life, okay? You will spin your wheels for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and you'll wonder why you are not moving up the ladder in society. You're wondering why you can't afford a healthy cut of meat anymore. You have to get cockroach milk serum because you're a bug eater, because you believe them with the bullshit around the bugs, okay? That's the type of life you live, okay? Maybe you've got a Greta Thunberg shirt, okay? So these types of people, friends, okay, like I said, they're perfect tools for the government, okay? But for the rest of us, we have to dig deeper, okay? We have to dig deeper because there's a game being played here. We want to front run the crowd, okay? Now, part of the game, we understand, is that there's a business cycle being played out. So with the business cycle, I talk about it all the time, friends. No one in crypto talks about the business cycle. Literally nobody. I talk about the business cycle because it is a reflection of what's going on in the economy, okay? And we have OTHERS-btc here, which is the ratio of basically altcoins to Bitcoin, and it has been sinking down and down. I show you the manufacturing PMI cycle as a reflection of where we are as well, which is right here, okay? Which is extremely vital to understand where we are now. We're in 2025. We've been running for a very, very long time, okay? So if you're giving up now, I understand why you're giving up. Yeah, because like none of us signed up for literally the longest down period in 45 years. We didn't sign up for that. But what are your alternatives? Are you going to go buy stocks at the top? What are you going to do? Okay, buy government bonds, sell, go buy something else. It's kind of funny. I hear even people in PulseChain community say, "Oh, I wish we were more like Ethereum." Ethereum is down 80% against Bitcoin over 8 years. Literally, it's still down. Okay, so this is just how the game works. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it. If you're going through hell, you got to keep going. I've also made this post here, friends. I'm seeing a lot of Richard Hart hate lately coming from within PulseChain community. And I've already told you 1,000 times, Richard does not control the business cycle. So even if you go look at Donald Trump's meme coin, down 85%. In the US president, literally the freaking US president can't make his own coin go up. Telling you the business cycle, it's more complex than you think. Yeah, it's easy to see, but it's not just one variable. You can't just say, oh, let's push this button, let's lower rates a bit and we fix everything. You don't. Okay, it's outside of the government control. They can print money, which is what they do, but the business cycle is its own phenomena. Okay, Ethereum's down 80% against Bitcoin after 8 years, like I said. I'm also looking for, of course, I'm frustrated it's taken this long. It's been 31 plus months. The worst case in history was 42 months. Okay, doesn't mean we're going to go like that. That would mean, okay, absolute worst case, we start cranking March next year. That's worst case, but it could be done now. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like in the midst of the GFC, friends, the stock market, S&P 500 dropped whatever, 55%. All right, whatever it was. But down there in October of 2008, when you're looking at it, I'll just show it to you now. I'll show you the stock market now. Okay, so during this period of time when the stocks were basically capitulating off the face of the earth, this was in 2008. They were down 57%. You see, so this is what it looked like at the bottom. Okay, it literally looked like, it's all like, maybe it's all dead. Okay, but down here, what were people saying, friends? What were people saying? They were saying the Great Depression dropped at 90%. So the S&P 500 was at 1,600, went down to like 700, and they were saying pretty much, people were saying, well, look, the worst case was a 90% drop. So that means the S&P 500 is going all the way down here. So if you go check it out, they go, oh, well, the S&P 500 is going to drop another 80%. But that was actually done. But you don't know it's done. Okay, so it could be like that right now in terms of, I'm telling you, the worst case in history that we have recorded was 42 months. We've now hit 31. Like, it's already black swan, terrible, bad stuff event. Literally like, not actual black swan, but it is very, very horrible so far. So it is what it is. We have to keep going through hell if we want to make it. I've also mentioned here as well, here's the thing, friends. Anyone in PulseChain who's still complaining is a little bitch, okay? Because you've learned about the business cycle. I have the highest value content in crypto. I've made over 5,100 videos. You've learned about the business cycle. You've learned about manufacturing PMI. You've learned about Bitcoin's correlation, the global M2, the global liquidity print is going up. The business cycle is still cranking. But yeah, it's taken a long time, but it's still cranking. Okay, it still exists. You know all these things. Altcoins are risk on. They're further out the risk curve. They need all the other traffic lights to turn green. So if you are still crying, basically it tells the rest of us, you're not actually here for solutions. You're just here to cry. And just being here to cry gets you nowhere. Gets you nowhere in life. Okay, we're here to find solutions. But here's the thing, man. Richard does not control the business cycle. Okay, he doesn't. No one controls the business cycle. Donald Trump doesn't even control the business cycle. No one does. There are too many variables to control out there, which it's impossible. You just have to let it play out. Also, some funny stuff going on out here, friends. There is a new haircut trend going on for kids, okay, which is here. It's called the Rectum Rochelle. So PulseChain community, get to shit in the bags. Richard Hahn's been making a lot of tweets out here. A lot of people are saying, I'll just show you. People have been using the term crash out with Richard. I don't think it's being crash out at all. I'll show you some of his posts out here. So he said, people don't like buy coins down for 2 years. People don't buy coins that are down for long. So he's basically saying, he's saying this because people are saying, oh, we can't shield coins unless the coins go up. He's basically saying, well, look, Bitcoin didn't have any problem, right? Bitcoin went up even at some point and bottomed out. But also, statistically, this is the thing, friends. Bitcoin is correlated to global M2. Bitcoin has an 89.5% correlation to M2, basically the money printer. No other asset in crypto has that. Only Bitcoin has that with such a high amount. Does that mean you give up? No, because there's a business cycle, man. I've told you there's a business cycle. Okay, literally, you go back, you look at all the sine waves, which I've shown you now, man. You go back in history. Let's look at it, man, right here. You go back in history, man. Look, there are many times it cracks above 52. Look at this, friend. It's literally a part of society. The business cycle happens whether you like it or not. Look, friends, we're now back in the 60s. You know, we were going through wars, different interest rate levels, different inflation rates, different generations, emigrating people. This thing about all these thousands of people, different technology, the internet comes and goes. It doesn't matter, dude. It literally doesn't matter. The cycle still continues. By the way, it's kind of funny, friends. Look, you know what's interesting? This was the internet tech boom from 94 to 2000. Look at the business cycle. It literally just did the exact same thing as it always did. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, man. Look at that. Now, actually funny, what it actually did was below 50 was a short amount of time. Look at this, 12 months and then 7 months. You see that? But still, can you tell anything different here? You can't. You actually can't, friend. Look at this. See, the business cycle is just a part of life. It's a part of life. So basically, I've got another way of saying it, man. Like, do you think this time is different? We're never, ever, ever going to expand businesses ever again. Come on, man. Like, well, what are you smoking? All right, share some with me. There must be some good stuff. Which the AI, the birth of AI, new tech wave generation. You know, it's taken a long time, but it is what it is. Also have this funny post out here, friends. So, Suppo Man is another mainstream KOL for cryptocurrency industry. It's kind of funny. He's got 123 altcoins ranked. He puts HEX as a sell and PulseChain as shit, which is hilarious. But he makes a lot of videos, and he's got like a 10 coins to 1,000x videos like every week it comes out, and none of them actually go at all. There's like he's mentioned like 500 plus to 1,000 coins. None of them actually go at all. So it's just kind of funny to see this out here. So if you're going off this, I don't understand how you can be looking for asymmetric upside stuff and you see these things down 99% and you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely a good idea to sell. Like, you should know better than that. And then SPX is near the highs. PEP is already strong. ICP, like near protocol, the GOAT. I'm starting to think there's some payment going on here. Near protocol? You mean the same near that I called out because they had token unlocks? They went on Crypto Banter show. And here's Pui. Has to be some token unlocks. So, but yeah, it is interesting, right? The people, what do you think, friends? Is this some sort of type of capitulation out here? But he has Pui in GOAT. They just got hacked. These people are effing retardio. Funny out here. Where is Soilana? That's interesting. He had that as well. I love reading your comments, friends. When top 10 videos no longer get it done. 123. Mr. Halal. He used to shield Glimmer in every video, 2 to 3 UX, which is Glimmer, friends, was Polkadot's EVM from Moonbeam, which is pretty much, yeah, it's just showing it out here. Interesting when it all comes together. So I see nothing else out of the ordinary. Waiting for that PMI to tick up above. And by the way, just a reflection, you don't wait for the PMI, friends, to go up. The price of Bitcoin and Ethereum will reflect the higher PMI coming. So maybe we see in the next 4 weeks, Ethereum is up at 3,200. Maybe Ethereum goes up to 3,200. I'll show you on the chart. Maybe we literally see right here, Ethereum up at 3,200. And if it is up here, you'll see next month's PMI reading, maybe it ticks up to like 51. you know, when it comes out. But the Ethereum price already moved up. Okay, so that's what it is. So the price always breaks in the future right now. That's why we use crypto as like a leading indicator for everything out here. And crypto right now is still ready to gear up. This is the Ethereum price chart. Everybody's short at 3,000. Hopefully this does resolve upwards. This is a very, very, very strong chart. I guess we'll see what happens. That's your yummy update. Love, like, and subscribe. Catch you soon.